It is 4 p.m. We're bringing developing news.
And the stories behind the headlines. This is Storycon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao. The headlines at this are: outgoing ICI Commissioner Rogelio Babe Singson is calling on Congress to pass the bill that will give additional powers to the Independent Commission for Infrastructure. There are two pending measures now: the Independent Commission Against Infrastructure Corruption, or ICIAC, at the lower house, and the Independent People's Commission, or IPC, at the Senate. In a press conference this morning, the former Public Works Secretary also raised the lack of support and the manpower for the ICI as the panel probes the multi-billion peso anomalies in flood control projects. But basically, he cites his health and his family's safety as main reasons for his departure. Singson will be staying as ICI Commissioner until December 15.
It's not that I don't want to serve. It is just that my body and also the stress on my family, we are not used to this heavy stress, including heavy security for the family's safety. I feel that I've done what I have to do for ICI. I am appealing to members of Congress, both the House and the Senate, ipasa nyo na yung IPC and the ICAIC, which is at the lower house version. So hopefully by the end of the year, you will now have a much stronger independent commission with proper powers and authorities. Lumabas yung ICI 94, EO 94. Walang budget. Okay. Kumbaga, lumabag ka sa gera, solve mo yung problema, hindi ka naman binigyan ng armas. Ano nangyari sa'yo? Di nakatiwangwang ka. You cannot defend yourself. You have no powers. Mag-imbita ka kung ayaw pumunta, wala ka nang magagawa. You don't even have subpoena powers. Gusto mong huwag paalisin ang isang tao. We don't have that. We have to go to court for a whole departure order. We were absorbing a lot of the flak for something that we have no power to do. Pakulong nyo yan, yung kurakot. Wala naman kaming power na magpakulong. O di, sino sinisi? ICI. Ang bagal nyo. You must be protecting the big fish.
President Bongbong Marcos has likened the issue of corruption in the country to a serious illness that will worsen if left untreated. In a speech before the Malacanang press corps on Wednesday night, Marcos noted that the government's reforms are disruptive but necessary to quote-unquote excise a cancer from a complicated system. He also acknowledged that Filipinos are bleeding now from the mess, but stressed that sacrifices must be made to stop these decades-old corrupt practices.
Don't complain. I gave you lots of stories. Hindi kayo nagkulang sa bomba, sa expose, sa skandalo. It really has been a difficult time, but we are trying precisely to change the entire system. And when you have to excise a cancer out of such a complicated system, you need to do some very major surgery. And when you do that, you will bleed. We had to go through that. I am sorry that the people suffered because of it, but it had to be done. So we have to go through that, go through the pain, go through the difficulty, go through the anguish that the country is going through now. But we're Filipinos. We may be bleeding now, but we will also heal very, very quickly.
And the other stories you're watching this Thursday, the 4th of December. House Majority Leader Sandro Marcos voluntarily appears at the ICI today but asks for an executive session. His legal team says Marcos wants to share information as candidly as possible, but some details could jeopardize or compromise the Commission's ongoing investigation. Recall that resigned Congressman Zaldico implicated the presidential son in the flood control scandal. Emerging from the ICI hearing, Congressman Marcos addressed Co's allegations again and said, and we quote, It's a move that reeks of desperation, a political ploy. I have already attributed it to attempts to destabilize the government.
Davao City 1st District Representative Paulo Duterte, on the other hand, declined the ICI's invitation. Duterte was asked to appear at the Commission's probe to address alleged irregularities in flood control projects in his district. But he accused the Commission of being a mere political propaganda tool of President Marcos. Pulong also said that the ICI cannot compel his appearance as the fact-finding body does not have power over the House of Representatives. And the Supreme Court has allowed Solicitor General Darlene Berberabe to represent the government in the Duterte camp's petitions related to the International Criminal Court. The en banc granted the manifestation with entry of appearance during its December 3rd session. The move comes after former Soljan Menardo Guevara recused himself from the case over questions on ICC's jurisdiction. There's way too many acronyms that sound alike kasi sorry. ICC.
Okay, joining us today, Circus resident political pundit, Tito Rol Llamas. Ang lakas ng hikab mo kanina.
Ikaw talaga. You keep giving him away.
Gising na nga eh.
Kasi nung isang araw, ginanon ko parang,
Alaskado nga ako yung nasa ka-lunch ko eh.
Sino ka-lunch mo?
Isang former cabinet secretary. Sabi niya, napanood daw niya nung sinisiko mo ko. Sinigising mo ko nung isang araw.
Sino naman yung former cabinet? Baka naman si Singson yan.
Ha?
Si
Hindi naman.
Secretary Singson?
Hindi.
Baka ikaw yung nagsabi na mag-resign,
press con siya kanina eh.
Tama nga naman.
Okay yung press con niya, di ba? Sinabi niya, health reasons.
Janitor ba kami?
Gusto niya tumulong sa master plan para sa DPWH, but in the same breath, naglabas din siya ng mga reklamo.
Yeah. But basically,
kami,
he confirmed what we learned yesterday, except he framed it differently lang around the issue of health. But he basically confirmed the concerns yesterday.
Sabi niya, sinabi niya sa press con, out of context yung sinabi ni Ega Erice dito.
Teka lang,
Hindi daw yun yung kanyang sinasabi.
Before you get into that, let's also bring in Philippine Star Editor-in-Chief, Amy Pamintuan. Hi, Amy.
Hi, everybody. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Happy ba?
So, out of context, what do you mean?
Ang sinasabi niya, hindi naman niya binabanatan yung ICI. Ang binabanatan niya ay yung kakulangan ng budget.
Yes.
Yeah.
That part is correct. No? Tama naman si Erice on that part.
Hindi, ang sinasabi ni Egay ay ICI is dead.
Siya yung sabi noon. That's his opinion.
That's his opinion.
Kaya sinabi niya na out of context yun.
Yan talagang ano yun. That's his solo.
Si Erice yun. And tama naman yung narration ni Erice sa atin, no? When he told us that Babes was frustrated over the lack of powers.
And he repeated those concerns. As well, he also revealed in October niyang privileged speech where he said, talking about Erice of course, na somebody wanted to resign from the ICI. That was in reference to actually Babes Singson.
Actually, ang term talaga ni Babes as hanggang December. Yun yung inuohan niyang term.
Talaga ba?
May term May term siya.
It's not for a
pero
year.
renewable yun. No? Yun ang hindi niya ginawa.
May term ba sa EO or
mukhang sa kanya.
Or meron na silang unwritten agreement?
Mukhang yun ang agreement nila na hanggang December siya tapos titignan kung tutuloy. No, pero sabi nga niya even earlier na wala siyang staff or security.
Yeah.
No, wala siyang concern siya sa security sa
He
bahay.
had to ask the private sector for laptops.
Then, may security nga siya. Dahil nahihigpitan nga daw sila sa security sa family.
Masyadong maraming security. Pero yung laptops, pati laptops he had to borrow from the private sector.
Actually, nung wala pang budget ng ICI, meron kaibigan siya na nagbigay ng isang security sa kanya sa bahay. Yun.
Ikaw ba yun?
Hindi naman ako.
Naka-AK-47 may security.
Hindi naman ako mukhang security. Ayun, sinabi niya mismo yun. No? Wala siyang security.
Kung naka-AK yun,
so, isang kaibigan nag-deploy ng isang security sa bahay.
Tapos nadagdagan pa ng extra security from, I guess, the government. Pero yun nga, it's was it 2 months ago when we spoke to Yusek Claire Castro about this? This is precisely the point that we're pointing out.
Actually,
diba?
this Sunday lang.
Kulang yung, naulit ka sa interview, but I wasn't there. But the first time she came here, after they created this body, but alam na natin at that point, walang resources, walang budget, walang anything, walang contempt powers, walang congressional powers.
Pero nakita natin mismo today, hindi sumipot si Pulong precisely dahil sabi niya, they cannot compel me to attend.
Correct. I am a member of the
Oo.
House of Representatives. Wala silang power over
Exactly,
us.
yun nga yung reklamo ni...
Actually, they cannot compel anybody to attend.
Yun ang reklamo ni Babes, na wala silang contempt powers. Ibig sabihin, pwede nila isabpina, no? Si Ed Lingaw, pag sabihin ni Ed Lingaw, ayoko dumalo, wala silang magagawa kay Ed Lingaw.
By invitation.
No? Kahit hindi siya
You can also turn it down gently.
kahit hindi siya congressman.
Or just
diba?
ignore it.
Oh, lalo na
in 5 minutes.
But,
lalo na kung congressman pa, di ba? Oh. Ako pag akong
Pero,
inimbita,
pero
nagdala ako.
Ronald, nung panahon, bakit nung panahon ni Noynoy, meron ding fact-finding yung sa hostage crisis sa Luneta? Bakit lahat yun napatawag naman nila? Ano bang basis nun? Wala namang batas yun, di ba?
Hindi ko na maalala eh. No, yung pala yun. Yung,
Saka yung sa Agrava,
yung
is that a
fact-finding
law?
na yun,
Hindi,
no?
sa bagay, iba naman yung ano.
Oo.
Panahon naman ni Marcos yun.
Oh, iba yung agraba.
Pero, iba naman siya. Pero, eto nga, yung kay Noynoy, gano'n na nangyari. Lahat naman na sumipot dun eh. Di ba?
Baka mas takot
Bakit
sila
ganon?
kay Noynoy.
Hindi, sa bagay, eto kasi mga lawmaker eh.
Yun.
Di ba?
yun, Oo.
Kaya yan, sinabi nila, live streaming, yan ang sinabi ko kay Ed kahapon eh.
Oh, anong
Pag
kasalanan naman?
naumpisahan mo na yung mga congressman na nag-executive session, ayan, lahat yan mag-executive session.
Yeah, alam
Bali
naman
wala
natin
yung
yan.
live streaming na yan.
Alam
Medyo
naman
weird
natin
lang yung
yan
medyo
because-
weird lang yung kay Roman Romulo, no? Na
Ayun na nga.
nagtawag siya ng executive session dahil sa security niya.
Yeah.
Oo.
Yan na nga, yun na nga.
Oh, one person himself. No?
So ibig sabihin, meron siyang sasabihin na
That will be
meron-
life-threatening.
Oo, meron siyang alam na
Hindi,
life-threatening.
you know why? Because this is Congressman De Lima explained this to us. There are very specific reasons that the executive session should be granted, at least in Senate,
Yeah.
at least in Congress, di ba? May ano lang yan, may specific criteria.
Oo.
Hindi mo naman pwede sabihin, so for instance, national security matters, right? Executive session
Yeah.
yon. Threat to your life and, threat to your life. Yes, you can ask for executive session. Pero yung iba kasi, humingi ng executive session just because they say they have something sensitive to say and they
Yung
want to
reputation daw nila.
share all the information that they have. But, ito rin tinatanong natin sa ICI, di ba, kay Attorney Hosaka, which is, ano yung grounds for granting executive session for each of these participants?
Eh kung lahat humingi ng executive session.
Which is, nakikita na
Yun
nga
na nga.
natin.
Hindi lang pwedeng just
Pero
because
si Sandro
I might be
Marcos na nga.
embarrassed.
Diba?
Hindi, sinabi nila reputational damage eh.
I
Hindi
might
yun
be
na
embarrassed.
yun.
Remember yung kay Agrao? I'm sorry. I think so.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Let's bring in the man of the hour. We are talking to, for our guest today, outgoing na ICI Commissioner Rogelio Babes Singson. Good evening. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon.
Secretary.
Hi,
It's good to have you, sir. And thank you for joining us today. You want to start?
Yes.
So, sir, we listened to your press conference kanina and mahaba-haba naman and you explained your side very comprehensively. So, I guess my first question to you is, nakausap niyo na po ba si President Marcos about this?
No, not at all.
But has Malacanang received your letter, accepted the resignation?
My letter was sent a few weeks ago, and it's irrevocable that complied with the 30-day notice.
Sir, mahaba na sir yung 2 weeks and they haven't given feedback?
Well, may mga nagsasabi na kung pwede daw extend. Sabi ko, why not? Kung mga 15 days lang, wala namang problema. But otherwise, it stays on December 15.
Okay, so you mean you filed it 2 weeks ago. Do you know why si Chair Reyes only announced it yesterday or the other day?
Well, hoping that there would be some response from Malacanang, pero apparently wala naman. So, go ahead na kami.
Ang mahalaga doon yung tawag ni Secretary Babes eh.
Oo nga. Actually, yung nga sir 2 weeks ago, tapos mukhang walang movement, walang response, parang walang feedback kayong nakuha, if I'm getting you right. That doesn't sound
other
very
than maybe-
encouraging.
Other than someone asking me kung pwede daw mag-extend until December 31. Sabi ko, no problem. So, in fact, they said they will make the announcements, but since naglalabasan na, sabi ko, might as well come out and do a press con myself.
Secretary,
Pero,
marami kayo nabanggit
Secretary,
kanina,
open kayo sa
Secretary, no? Nabanggit nyo yung isang dahilan, yung health considerations, yung stress sa inyong pamilya. Yung ikalawa ay yung gusto nyong tumulong doon sa master plan sa DPWH, no? Matulungan sila. At ikatlo, meron din kayo mga criticisms, no? About yung kakulangan ng power, ng resources, ng support ng ibang mga line agencies sa ICI. Pero doon sa tatlong clusters ng paliwanag nyo kanina, anong mas dominant?
Siyempre, pamilya, ikaw naman.
Hindi.
But parang ayaw yung maniwala, pamilya at health will be there to district.
Oh, sir, it's not that we don't believe. We understand. Actually, we understand. Family always comes first. But of course, minsan kasi it's the catalyst or the trigger could be something else.
You know what it is, Secretary? It's just because we've gotten so used to euphemisms when people resign. Always it's about family, always about health, always personal reasons. But then later on, we find out the real reason.
Yeah, no. As far as I'm concerned, I have no problem working here. I have not received any pressure on stopping hearings or wag mong tawagin yan, si ganito, si ganyan, wag mong pahirapan. No such thing. That's for sure. Okay? So, the other thing is, really, I've been in and out of the clinic. I've been working out, and this is the first time in my 7 years that I've been given 4 kinds of maintenance medication. I've never had maintenance medication in my life. Ngayon na lang, with ICI work.
Ay, talo ko kayo, Secretary. Ako, college pa lang, may maintenance na eh.
So, Secretary, open ba kayo dun sa extension until the end of the year? Hanggang December 30. Kasi yun ang mukhang hinihingi ng Malacanang.
Kung ganun lang, kung totoong hinihingi, why not? Ano naman yun? But I in fairness to Vince Dizon, sinabi niya naman, no? And I told him, Vince, you have to work on the master plan. Otherwise, next year, pagdating ng ulan, tatanungin na naman ng tao, baha na naman sila, ano ba ang ginagawa ng DPWH, no? So sabi ko, you have to
nakita na ba yan? Nakita na yung master plan nyo?
Ano?
Have they found?
Nakita na ba yung master plan?
Nandiyan yun. Labo nun. Kahit na kayo pumunta kayo sa Google, hanapin nyo, nandiyan eh. Google yun.
Hindi kasi nag-order sila ng new master plan eh. Ibig sabihin, wala yung master plan ninyo.
No.
Baka nawala, kinain ng daga.
Because, hindi ko inuwi, that's for sure. Pangalawa, definitely, you need an upgrading because of the recent typhoon and climate change na mas intense in so short a period. Kasi dati, ang standard was 50-year rain period, yung highest over the last 50 years. Ngayon, dapat 100 na. In other words, the strongest, heaviest rainfall within the last 100 years. So, actually, most recent is malalakas.
Secretary, nag-guest kahapon dito si Congressman Egay Erice. Sabi niya, nakapag-usap daw kayo. At ang sabi rin niya, based sa kanyang vantage point, no, hindi naman dahil sa conversation niyo lang, ICI is dead.
I don't see why. No? The problem is if people that think that ICI will solve the whole problem, there's no way. I'm telling you. Okay? So people's expectations should not rely only on one institution of a 3 committee that was hurriedly executed. Let's face it, lumabas yung EO, walang budget, walang support. Parang, sige, lumabang ka sa gera. Saan ang bala namin?
Pero di ba, Secretary, kasalanan ng Malacanang yon dahil sila yung nag-build up sa ICI to a high level. Kaya siyempre, yung expectations sa mga tao ay nakabatay doon. No? Ngayon lang
Sana.
pinapaliwanag yung
Sana
limits niya.
ganun.
Oh.
O sana ganun, but up to now, yung budget na sinasabi nila, nasa diary lang, wala pa sa amin.
Yung
Ano
40
yung
million.
41 million? Akala ko dinownload na. Secretary, akala ko dinownload na yung 41 million
Wala pang
until the year end.
Sa
wala pa rin
41
nakukuha.
million, 1 million. Nasa diary yung nga, wala sa amin.
Baka nasa
1
Philippine
million
Star.
nakuha nyo na, 1
Nasa
million.
Philippine Star.
Hindi, bulawan ko lang muna.
1 million.
Well, Secretary,
Hindi, Malacanang announcement yun eh. Malacanang announcement yung 41 million.
Oh, hindi,
We're saying 1
mag-announce.
million
Oh, tama
pa lang ang
yun.
nada-download.
Tama yun,
1 million.
41 million. 41 million. Pero wala pa
Oo.
sa amin. Wala pa sa account
Wala
ng
pa rin.
ICI. Wala pa kami. Oo.
well, Secretary, of course, we do understand the concerns over health and family, but 3 months already into the ICI, you're still, as you pointed out, lacking resources, legal authority to call in and cite in contempt people, subpoena documents, and so on down the
Yeah.
line. And this is already, these are complaints that are 3 months old already. My question to you po is, do you think, from your perspective, was the President serious, or do you think the President was serious enough in this investigation, considering that he apparently failed to give you the weapons with which to fight this war?
I think the president was serious. The fact is, siya nga nag-umpisa nito. No? Siya nga nag-siwalat nitong anomalies na to. So he needed some help to facilitate cases. No?
Opo.
And that was our role. No? That was our role. Unfortunately, yung lumabas na EO, kulang-kulang.
Yes, sir. But that's also my point. This is 3 months old. This EO is 3 months old. The complaints also, or the concerns also, are 3 months old, and nothing has been done to address your concerns. And these are not new concerns anymore. In fact, sir, we guested Claire Castro just this Sunday in one of our shows. Tinanong namin siya, aren't you going to certify as urgent itong mga bills pending in Congress, giving more power to the ICI to subpoena, summon documents, hold in contempt people?
Yeah.
Her answer basically was, but the PNP and the NBI don't even have those powers, but they're able to do their jobs. We need to be careful daw not to have overlapping agencies with overlapping authorities. That was the answer po. So, your perspective po as to that answer?
Well, actually, that's the role of Congress to pass that strengthened. We have told them where are the problems, what needs to be done for the new ICI to be more effective. No? So, what are we doing right now? We are not relying on the legal process dahil napakahaba. So we are resorting to what is referred to as administrative measures that are embedded in several agencies like foreclosure, freezing of accounts, BIR understatements of income taxes. Yung mga ganito are the administrative measures that we are focusing on, and we continue to push agencies. Actually, we have just had a meeting of the technical working group. Talagang pinupukpok namin, o nasaan na yung mga assets, air assets na yan? Ano kailangan gawin? O,
Yes, sir. We understand,
So,
sir.
that's where we are.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We understand, sir. It should be Congress that should pass the law, pero not even a push or a hint of urgency from Malacanang as far as those laws are concerned.
well, hindi naman, no? Because we were already promised by the leadership that they, I hope their promise comes true, that they will pass it before the Congress recesses about December 19th.
Secretary, importante
Yes, sir.
yung araw na ngayon sa ICI dahil pinatawag at humarap si presidential son, Congressman Sandro
Oo.
Marcos. Nandun ba kayo
Oo.
kanina sa ICI? Dahil hindi
course.
pa naman kayo
Eh,
effectively umaalis.
Oh, I will be here until the midnight of December 15th.
Yes, so dumalo kayo kanina doon sa...
Yes, I was there. I was there.
So,
I'm
warranted
still
po
interested
pa yung
in
kanyang
the-
executive session. Kasi nag-aalala ngayon mga tao, mukhang lahat ng magiging guest nyo na
Executive
in your
session.
live streaming puro magre-request na executive session.
Hindi naman,
Warranted
because
naman
we have
po
to
ba yung paghingi ng
identify.
executive session?
No, hindi naman automatic yun. We have to know ano yung content, ano yung sasabihin, ano yung
Oh.
kung justifiable yung request. No? May mga na-reject naman kami, hindi naman lahat yan eh. All of them, as you said, will request, siyempre. No? But
Oo
we
nga.
have not granted all. Meron naman kaming live stream.
So yung kay Sandro Marcos, warranted ba? Kasi tapos na yung kanyang pagharap sa inyo. Sa tingin nyo, yung sinabi sa inyo, warranted an executive session. Kasi lahat ng tao, iniintay yung pagharap niya sa ICI, actually.
Dumaan naman siya, nagbigay siya ng option, I think, opportunities for live questions.
Yes. So, sa tingin nyo, warranted naman yung nakuha nyo sa kanyang information to make it behind closed doors.
Well, he was surprised about some of our questions kasi marami kaming detalyang tinanong. There are many projects in this district, but not in the scale of the insertions that were asserted to by Saldico. No? Nowhere near those numbers. That's why I had to dig deeper. Tinanong ko sa kanya, baka naman may mga ibang agencies na nag-insert sa distrito nyo other than insertions sa DPWH. As he had only the information of DPWH for this afternoon. So, I don't know kung may mga... Kasi maaaring may mga state college doon, may hospital doon, may airport. So, baka may ibang naglagay doon sa distrito na hindi DPWH. Kaya baka malaki nga, but as far as DPWH, the numbers do not show the numbers that Saldico was asserting or saying, no? About one-third lang of the numbers, no?
Secretary, two weeks ago, kayong dalawa ni Secretary Vince Dizon nag-press conference at pumunta kayo sa Ombudsman recommending that charges will be filed or should be filed with former Speaker Martin Romualdez.
Yes.
Ang sabi nung company Speaker Martin Romualdez, kung ebidensya nyo lang daw ay yung testimony ni Saldico at yung testimony ni Gutesa ay parang kapos. Dahil una, wala si Saldico rito, wala siyang affidavit. Tapos si Gutesa naman ay still missing.
Hindi pa tapos yun. Ronald, hindi pa tapos yun.
So there are more evidence.
So probably, yung sinasabi niya, nakukulangan siya. Hindi, kaya mo, dadagdagan namin.
But so hindi pa tapos, sir, bidding you expect to get more evidence? Because these are high crimes that we're talking, plunder.
No, as I said this morning, what we need now are lawyers who will go through the boxes and boxes of documents that have been delivered to us. No? Wala nga kaming staffing pattern pa eh. Anong papipiga mo kung volunteer?
Yeah.
Si Sandro Marcos, may binigay bang dokumento? Kasi yung kinikwento nyo sa amin na sinabi sa inyo, I don't think hindi naman kailangan.
Meron 5 kahon. Yung mga NEP at saka submissions ng mga barangay na proving to us that ito yung mga hiningi sa akin. Other than this, all the others were already insertions. No? But sa akin ang mas importante, okay na, may insertion. Anong ginawa mo dun sa insertions? Saan mo ginamit? Nabantayan ba yun? Yun mga Teka muna, I have to go, guys. Sabi ko sa inyo, 5 minutes lang.
5 minutes.
Sorry, sir. Alam mo naman kami.
5 minutes pa lang naman. Kayo naman.
Last question,
5 minutes pa lang, sir.
Last question. Naglabas kasi yung company speaker na meron daw statement or letter, yung ICI, na sinasabi na wala namang ebidensya linking the speaker doon sa mga kaso in relation dito sa sinampa sa kanya. Ano yun? Is that an ICI letter or what was that about?
I don't think we'll give a letter like that.
So-
Parang, lahat po ata nun.
Oo.
Anyway, these are legal matters. I am an engineer, so I don't want to discuss in too much detail yung mga legal issues na yan. Kaya nga sinasabi ko, kailangan ipalit sa akin CPA lawyer na.
Yeah, Mel. Sec, just before you go, very
Okay.
quickly, no, yung letter nyo po to Malacanang, when did you file it? Just for the record. When did you submit it to Malacanang?
Just for the
resignation?
record, I cannot remember. But I know I had to respect the 30-day notice.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
so-
if December 15, then November 15.
Beginning of December.
30-day notice.
Hindi,
So, November 15.
Oo
Baka
nga.
November 15, 30
Yeah.
Okay,
days.
okay.
Thereabouts. That is when you filed it. Okay. And you haven't heard from
Congressman,
Malacanang.
di marunong magbilang
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Salamat,
We'll let you go.
Secretary.
Thank you so much for
Sige
talking
po.
to us. Outgoing
Yes, salamat.
ICI Commissioner
Okay.
Rogelio Babes
All
Singson.
right.
Thank you, Secretary.
Okay, so, ano ba yan? We thought it
ano?
caught all of us by surprise, but turns out Malacanang had known for at least 2 weeks now that, a little over 2 weeks.
And surprisingly, walang ginawa, walang sinabi, walang
response.
feedback.
Yeah.
It's just parang may paramdam lang na baka pwedeng hanggang katapusan ng buwan.
Or baka iniisip nila, baka pwede pang
Magbago-isip.
kausapin. Gano'n.
Wala
in
naman
2 weeks, wala pang
kumausap
usap
eh. Wala naman kumausap.
Taas naman ang expectation nyo.
No. All I'm saying is, people see him as a linchpin to this ICI, as a credible party to this ICI. If one of them is going to resign, wouldn't you scramble to...
Yeah, it might unravel the whole
Ibig
thing.
ko ba sabihin, yung iba hindi credible?
Hindi naman. Pero he's
This is
he's more...
one-third of the commission
No. I don't want to joke about that because I know the others are highly competent. Pero siya yung most visible because he had been secretary before and he knows the ins and outs of DPWH. So people see him as, lending credibility to the commission, right?
Yes,
so
pero
kung yung one-third of your people...
Huwag mong kalimutan, may mga statements din siya na parang uncomfortable yung ICI. Halimbawa, nung sinabi niya na hindi pwedeng state witness yung mga diskaya. No? Nagsalita naman yung ICI, wala kami sinasabing ganon. Doon makikita mo na lang may differences. Diba?
And isn't that exactly what we need? Someone who will not just toe the government line, who will speak his own mind and speak
Huwag mo
the
sa akin
truth.
sabihin mo sa Malacanang.
Yung si principal
Hindi ba yun yung kailangan natin? I'm sorry.
Pero matagal na kasi siya na nachichismis na gusto nang umalis eh.
October pa lang.
Yes,
eh.
oo.
1 month.
Si-
1 month pa lang
Pero-
from the formation of the ICI, may ganun ng chismis eh.
Oo, pero I guess
Pero mo, dalawa ka agad
Kaya
na high profile ang
I don't
nawala.
think it was a
Si
surprise
Magalong,
to Malacanang.
at saka si Babe Singson.
Oh.
Ang natira
Hindi,
ay
hindi ko
yung what
sabihin,
the world
hindi
needs now
magugulat
is
yung
love,
Malacanang.
sweet love.
hindi magugulat, yes, but again, this is also a public perception issue, right? So again,
Yeah.
kung alam mo na, kung binigyan ka na ng resignation letter by one of the people that is, lending credibility to this commission, wouldn't you do something about it?
Lalo na, you
Baka
don't
may
Try to
chismis ka
manage
dyan,
it.
Ronald.
Kasi, alam mo,
Ah.
there was a survey. So WR Numero did a series of surveys. One of them was on the ICI. Nearly half the people still don't know what the ICI is or what
Akala
it's
nila
for.
yung ICI yung
Mga
humuli kay Duterte.
40+%.
Kala nila ICC, oo. Kayong
Hindi nga
ICE,
seryoso.
yung sa US.
Mga 40+%.
Yan ang huhuli ng TNT, yan ang akala nila.
Oo.
Sure nito.
Mga 40+% still don't know what the ICI is. So again,
Hindi ka naman kasama rin.
hindi mukhang na-confuse ako ICC. ICU.
Two major issues. Number one, 3 months already in the making itong complaints na to, and these are very serious complaints. And as early as October, these are the same complaints already being aired by Babe Singson through Edgar Erice in his privileged speech on October 7. So mahaba-haba na yun at hindi gumalaw. Walang paramdam Malacanang that they want. In fact, as late as Sunday, parang wala pa ring urgency Malacanang as far as additional powers for the ICI are concerned. Number two, yun nga 2 weeks already since he submitted this resignation, not even a direct message from the primary from the principal. From the principal, hindi not you.
Not this principal.
From the
Kung
principal.
ako yung principal niya, I would have called him up and said, hey, let's talk about this.
Wala man lang direct contact. Instead, possibly emissaries asking, can you extend until the 30th?
Hindi, nung natanggal nga si
Hindi,
Mayor
meron
Magalong,
nga daw yung
wala
may
hanggang
confusion
30th.
kung ano ba talaga nangyari. Nag-resign siya, tinanggal siya, ano yung dahilan, no? So, may ganong klaseng track record yung ICI. Walang clarity.
Imagine a different scenario. Kung na-manage nila na maayos yung announcement na to. Okay? Okay. He submits his letter, Malacanang, President Marcos calls him up and says, let's talk about this, let's iron it out. They agree on the timeline. They agree on Marcos announcing it. Di ba it's less shocking? It's
Then,
less
or maybe,
scandalous.
I hereby certify as urgent.
Except we have to let Secretary Singson go because it's taking a toll on his health. Kesa naman yung what happened, which is they announced
baka
it.
naman iniisip ng
scram-
Malacanang, kasi nasa pangalan yan, independent. Ayaw na makailam na makailam. Hindi, chichismisin ko lang si Ronald.
So good
Sabi,
point.
please.
Diba? Hindi kasi sinasabi, yun ang sinasabi ng kabilang kampo,
Si Ronald
remember,
wants to say something to
na
you.
hindi naman yan independent, it's a propaganda tool of Malacanang dito sa corruption issue na to.
Ang sinasabi
meron
mo ba,
din yung
dapat
ganung
naayos
anggulo,
din yung
diba?
pagtanggal kay General Torre?
Lahat dapat naayos. Okay, last night was the Malacanang press corps dinner with President Marcos and he joked, di ako nagkulang sa stories that I gave you this year. Ang daming skandalo, ang daming expose, ang daming controversies. Nakakatawa, it's funny. But could you not have managed some of these so it doesn't look so badly on the government? Because don't forget, I mean, it's not just us who are punditing about this, right? It's also, sino ba yung nagbabasa ng Ojario? It's also the investors, it's also the business community, right? And they pick up what we put out there.
It's like Ferdinand Marcos Sr. saying in 1986, yeah, I gave you a good story, I
sinabi
left
pa niya,
Malacanang. No.
Yeah.
Hindi.
Sabi niya, hindi ako nagkulang sa stories that I gave you. Which is
Di ba?
funny.
Parang ganun.
Actually, itong past few days kasi, may mga talks ako sa mga diplomats, sa mga executives.
They're paying attention.
Lahat sila, pare-parehas ng tanong.
Ano?
What's happening?
Yes.
Saan papunta lahat ito? No? Ano mangyayari next year? No? Almost the same question.
Yun nga tatanong ko sa iyo, Ronald. Ano bang balak talaga ng Malacanang? May balak pa ba Malacanang about ICI? Parang hindi rin nila alam, di ba?
Parang they're losing momentum.
Well, wala na kumbaga, na-establish na yung ICI, yung main investigating body na independent, no?
Independent, remember that word.
Oo, na gagawa ng lahat ng ito. Siguro, dahil nakahinga sila ng kaunti, nung rally ng Iglesia ni Cristo, na parang nagbago ng tono ang Iglesia ni Cristo, tapos yung military ay nag-hold ng line for the constitutional order, yung simbahan at civil society ay pumosisyon to defend the constitutional order. Baka medyo nakahinga sila ng konti, no? At yung crisis na naramdaman nila a month ago, baka hindi nila nararamdaman ngayon.
The sense of urgency.
Baka nawala yung sense of urgency.
We'll come back to that. We just need to go to a very quick break right now. You're watching Storycon on One News. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
This is the Story Conference Group or the Storycon Group.
We've got developing news in the stories behind the headlines. Welcome back to the Storycon or the Story Conference. I'm Ed Lingao.
And I'm Regina Lay, still with us. Ami Pamintuan of the Philippine Star, and of course Ronald Llamas, our resident political pundit.
Okay, we have a statement from TV5 on the termination notice for the content supply deal with ABS-CBN, and we've been asked to read it. Okay, this is what it says. When ABS-CBN lost its franchise in 2020, TV5 gave them a home. When Eat Bulaga lost its home in 2023, we welcomed them into ours. We have always been a kapatid to anybody or anyone in need.
TV5 recognizes the value of ABS-CBN's well-loved programs to our viewers. However, their failure to meet their financial commitments to us has made it very difficult for us to compensate our own employees, talents, and partners who help deliver these programs to your homes. Our content agreement with ABS-CBN requires them to remit on a timely basis TV5's share of revenues that they collect from advertisers.
These amounts collected, our share being held by ABS-CBN for TV5, has reached such material value as to severely affect TV5's ability to settle its own obligations. Despite our repeated appeals, ABS-CBN has failed to pay what is due. Neither have they given assurances nor indicated that they can or will. To be clear, we value the partnership with ABS-CBN, and as part of the same industry, we understand ABS-CBN's financial difficulties.
But TV5 is also faced with its own challenges. We need these funds owed to us to continue serving you, our viewers. Our leniency as well as forbearance must now yield to the realities of this business. To you, our viewers, rest assured that we are committed to serving you with the best programming no matter what ensues from all these issues. Nananatili kaming tapat sa inyo, mga kapatid.
And that is the full statement of TV5 that we have just read to you.
Again, on the termination notice for content supply deal with ABS-CBN. I think ABS has been given 30 days to settle its arrears, and they have said that they will do the best they can.
Ibig sabihin, pag na-settle, ay
I'm not sure.
continue yung contract?
I'm not sure.
Ang talagang inabangan ko yung Tagalog na binasa ni Regina eh.
Bakit? Che!
Tapat naman pala.
Ha?
Tapat naman.
Tapat naman. Di ba?
Bigla kayo ng tahimik. Kasi Ami, ano?
Teka lang. Okay, so we have another news. Speaking of the Discayas, the SEC has revoked the Discaya construction firm's registration over false disclosure of beneficial ownership. So, ang na-revoke na certificates of incorporation are St. Timothy Construction and St. Gerard General Contractor.
Ang balita po, they will be charged soon.
Yes, they were further directed to pay 2 billion pesos each as penalty. And the directors were disqualified from being a director, trustee, or officer of any corporation for a period of 5 years.
Any corporation.
Any corporation. So, yes.
So they're barred from incorporating for the next 5 years.
Or joining as a trustee or a director or essentially any role. Yeah.
Tapos
Eh,
pag
kung
nakasuhan
nakakulong naman sila, talaga naman hindi nila magagawa yon.
And this
Mukhang
covers
sila yung first batch na makukulong eh.
This covers all of the directors. It covers lahat ng directors ng St. Gerard and
Hindi lang yung mag-asawa.
Yeah.
St. Timothy.
Doon sila magki-Christmas party sa kulungan.
Anong kaso?
Mukhang sila yung masasampulan eh.
Kung malay mo, baka next week makasuhan sila ng plunder
Before Christmas eh.
or malversation.
Kahit yung malversation lang eh, sa ano na sila eh, no bail yun eh.
Pero ang alam ko,
Kaya yun yung ano.
they will be charged and put in prison before Christmas.
Yan na nga.
Okay,
Yan ang
but-
pangako ng lahat na eh.
But yung I suppose mas interesado mga tao kung sino-sino kaya yung mabibilanggo na politiko by Christmas.
Well, ang nirecommend kahapon ng
Kung sino
ICI.
ang hindi mabibilanggo.
Yes.
Mas interesting yan, di ba?
Ang
Sino yung hindi mabibilanggo?
Ang pinapakasuhan kahapon ng ICI ay isang ex-senator at mga contractors at government officials.
Yan.
Tapos yung ibang mga senador ay for further study.
For further
The
for
ex-senator
case
you
build-up.
mean si Bong Revilla.
Bong Revilla, tapos
And
yung
other
further
Revilla,
study,
WH
Grace po,
officials.
si Nancy Binay. Pero surprisingly, wala si Kwan. Wala si Joel Villanueva, Jingo Estrada, Chis Escudero.
Like,
no?
di ba meron na sa first batch na recommendations? Si Jinggoy, Estrada, and Joel?
Sila yung first, di ba?
Yeah.
Na kinuha nila sa ombudsman? Ito kasi for the ombudsman to, yung kahapon.
Di ko maalala. Because there are so many cases.
Yeah.
I don't remember if they were recommended to the ombudsman for charges.
Ako mas ang tanong ko ngayon, sino kaya ang chief of staff ni Bong Revilla?
Oo nga, yan ang delikado.
At nung
Hindi,
senador siya
merong
kasi
isa doon na
hindi siya
staffer na binanggit.
Ha?
May isang staffer, Senate staffer na binanggit na nire-recommenda for charges.
I'm
Yun
sure,
ang kawawa
I'm sure you
dyan.
know why I'm wondering kung sino chief of staff niya, no?
Oh, of course. Of course. Ang kawawa naman. Ang isang tanong, sino ba papalit kay Babe Singson?
You think he's gonna take the fall?
Hinihintay pa namin.
Well, no, we're just looking at what happened in the pork barrel case. Ang nakulong, ang tanging nakulong ay si
Chief of Staff.
Richard
Si Richard
Cambe.
Cambe.
At
Chief of Staff
namatay
ni
sa
Cambe.
kulungan.
Namatay sa kulungan. So, tapos na ang lahat. Wala na, nobody can say anything anymore.
Because they will always
Kaya nga.
argue that these people acted without their authority.
That was the finding of the,
Hindi
and
kasi
the
yan ang
argument.
problema sa plunder. Yan ang problema sa plunder. Sino
Masyadong
nag-handle
mataas
ng
yung
pera?
standards ng evidence.
Hindi dumiretso kay Hindi dumiretso dun sa senador. Yan din yung case kay Enrile.
Oh,
Yung
no.
kay Enrile is
No, no,
even
no.
more amazing dahil yung kay Enrile from the start sinabi walang direct na
Yes,
na
but,
dimuretso sa kanya. Pero yung testimony ni nung isang witness idinaan dapat man lang ke sino yung chief of staff niya na-acquit din.
Si Gigi?
Si Gigi, oo. Yung isang witness sinabi,
No, but-
pumupunta kay Gigi, but Gigi was also acquitted.
Yeah. But
Yun ang kakaiba.
the difference is, remember yung testimony ni Yusek Roberto Bernardo, he said he personally delivered the cash to Bong Revilla. Merong
Hindi,
direct...
sa ano niya, di ba? Kay Bong ba mismo?
Yes.
One of
Yes.
his aides.
No. May isa pang version na sa kanya mismo at a house, nagkwentuhan pa sila for
Yeah.
about 15 minutes. And then he left. So there is that testimony from Roberto Bernardo. And we know that some of the senators, like Senator Ping, consider his testimony credible. Diba?
Credible.
So we'll see.
Pero yun din ang testimony niya kila Nancy Binay na dineliver niya mismo.
Hindi, yung kay Nancy sa aid. Aid ni Nancy.
Oo.
Si, was it Carlene Villa? Villa.
So walang alam yung senador. Yung aid lang niya.
Well, in every
Kaya
instance
ka may
na
tao
may aid, kaya ka may bagman.
Oh, parang, oy,
I'm not saying si Carlene sa bagman. But
pakidala sa kasambahay ko. Wala akong kinalaman dyan.
Kaya nga ang swerte nung kasambahay, nakakakuha ng ganun kalaking pera.
hindi pa ba? I mean, haven't we plugged those loopholes after PDAF?
Dapat may circumstantial.
How did we plug
Hindi,
those
ang
loopholes?
excuse nila,
Did you hear any law that plug those loopholes?
Balik ka ulit, sama kayo ni Ami.
Anong pinang-plug mo ng
I'm
butas?
saying-
Ang DPWH?
Okay, I'm saying, so maraming similarities between this and PDAF, right? So, hindi pa ba natuto yung justice system?
kasi kaya nga ayaw na ngayon ni Boying nung plunder Medyo
Yes.
ingat siya sa plunder.
There you go.
Kasi
Oh.
beyond reasonable doubt, mahirap
Yes.
Kaya gusto niya yung malversation through falsification, mas madaling patunayan.
If you aim too high, you might end up falling short.
He-
If you aim too low, you might hit the vital organ.
Kasi
Wow, very
lifetime din
philosophical
naman
ka.
yung malversation. Lifetime
Very
din siya.
philosophical ka.
He called it impossibly high standards. They're insanely
Yeah.
high, impossibly high standards, sabi niya. For plunder,
Yeah. Mas madali kung malversation through falsification, saka mas mababa yung threshold ng amount, 8.8 million lang.
Baka mahalaga na maimbita uli natin si Boying Remulla. Paano?
Oo nga eh.
Oo.
Di ba parang nag-slow down yung Malacanang nung siya na yung nag-ombudsman dun sa ICI Parang inaano ng sige bahala na nga yung ombudsman na lang.
Oo. With the
Parang ganun
slowdown,
yung naging takbo
with the slowdown sa ICI, sa Blue Ribbon,
Oo. Sa
nakafocus
kanya
ngayon
binigay
sa
eh.
ombudsman.
Oo,
Alam
sa
mo,
kanya
I
binigay
mean, but let's be objective. You also have to wonder, yung is it just our perception na nag-slow down sila? Remember what Babes was saying, right? Kung mabagal sila, pinapagalitan sila, bakit ang bagal nyo? But behind the scenes, they are working. So is it a fair assessment?
We are being diplomatic.
Oo nga
Hindi mo napansin.
Papunta din kasi sa ombudsman, yan ang problema. Nagkaroon lang ng additional layer ng vetting. Yan lang ang nangyari doon eh.
Ayaw naman namin sabihin na disaster sila.
Hindi. May
hindi naman
ginagawa
disaster kayo naman.
Yes.
Pero wala nga, pumunta nga sa gera, walang armas eh. Di ba sabi ni Babes? That's a
Tama
disaster.
na, oo.
That is what he said.
Biro mo, walang pondo. Nag-press release na, na-release na eh, di ba?
Sabi nga niya,
41 million until
nasa
year
dyaryo
end.
yung pondo.
Kinuha niyo ba, Ami?
Tatlong beses siya inulit eh. Nasa dyaryo
Nasa
yung
dyaryo.
pondo.
Kayo kasi piniprint nyo kaagad what the president says.
Hindi, in-announce ng di ba? In-announce yun and
I'm
confirmed
joking.
by Malacanang. 41 million.
So, Jaryo na naman
Until
may
year end
kasalanan.
lang yan, ha? Until year end. Ayan na year end, 3 weeks na lang.
So, hindi pa nila
Hindi pa nila
download yung
nakukuha.
41 million na yon.
Saka ayaw nila ng replication eh.
Compared to sa PNP.
Kaya ayaw nila ng gawing priority bill. Diba?
Yan. Yan
should-
na nga.
we
Kaya
should-
ano eh.
I
Kaya
don't,
lang, sabi nga ni Egay Irice, alam mo, ombudsman, hindi naman na nakafocus lang dyan. Ang dami-daming mga corruption cases pang iba eh. Siguro, dagdagan na lang nila ng tao, ombudsman. Iba magbubukas daw ng regional offices pa si,
no, hindi.
si Boying at nagre-recruit siya ng additional
Oo,
staff.
nagre-recruit siya, but he also needs to, I mean, he's gonna ask Congress to add more Sandigan Bayan divisions. The question is,
Yeah.
will Congress
Yeah.
agree? Will Congress grant him that, considering ang dami sa kanilang members could be implicated in this, right?
Talaga?
Yeah.
Ano? What was it? Who was it who said na ano? Somebody gave a figure, hindi ko na maalala to eh.
Hindi, si Kwan, nagsabi niya more than 10%.
That's it.
Si
more than
Boying ang
10%.
nagbigay.
Of legislators.
Tanungin natin si Boying Remulla kung ano yung maintenance medicine niya.
Will be impacted. Will be impacted.
Okay.
Buong buhay daw niya, ngayon lang siya nag-maintenance medicine.
Okay.
At 77, that's a good that's a good record.
That's a good record. Nung 77 years old lang siya bago siya mag-ano. Okay, anyways, coming back to the TV5 statement, you can check that on the TV5 page and also on the One News page and on Business World. And I guess Phil started reproduce ng TV5 statement. This is the TV5 statement on the termination notice for content supply deal with ABS-CBN. It ends with, TV5 saying, to be clear, it values the partnership with ABS and it understands ABS-CBN's financial difficulties. But of course, the TV5 is also faced with its own challenges and it needs the funds owed to it to continue serving the viewers, and its forbearance must now yield to the realities of this business.
Yung last line.
Nananatili kaming tapat sa inyo, mga kapatid.
Talagang binasa niya.
Uy, malaki yung amount. It's almost 1 billion pesos. So, this is going to be a huge issue to untangle. But anyways, we'll
Okay,
leave that
goodbye,
there.
Philippines.
Thank you so much for joining Storycon today. I'm Pamintuan, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star. Ronald Llamas, our resident political pundit na may ka-text na. Join us again tomorrow, 4 p.m. for Storycon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao, kapatid. We are One News, all sides, all the time.
This is the Story Conference Group or the Storycon Group.